morning. It's day 134. I'm hiking out of Unionville, New York, back into crossing the state line right now into New Jersey to jump back on the Appalachian Trail. So this is it right here on this bridge. You can see a blaze right there. So that's where we're going. But quaint little village. Spent the night at Pastor Doug's Sola Hiker Hostel / Christian Retreat Center, which he has built in his basement. I would have liked to have a longer discussion with him on topics of belief and Christianity and etc. I told a lot of my background and reasons for where I'm at and where I'm at, but didn't really get into some of the things I then wondered as I was walking away. But anyway, back on trail, 17 miles in brutal heat. Today and tomorrow are probably the two hottest days of the year before it cools off later in the week. So begin the clock. It's or the odometer, I guess. It's 17 miles to the shelter, or 16.8, and then like 17.1 if I want to go to that drive-in theater, which would be fun if I were hiking with a group of people, but I'm not. So I'm neutral on going there. Also, my attempt to resupply in this village, which has absolutely nothing but an Italian restaurant and a general store. The general store is basically like a 7-Eleven with like one grocery aisle, and their hiker resupply was totally picked over. So all I could do was load up on fig bars and a couple of ramens. So, but the upside is I only have 8 miles tomorrow, so I could probably knock that out by lunch or early afternoon if I complete the 17 miles today. Hopefully it'll stay shady. My one big worry is availability of water on trail today, and I'm carrying an extra liter. It's like the Liberty Loop Trail, which is a giant rectangle around this swampy field here. That's the rest of the path looking back, all the way back to the road. And I go down one full length of it, across the end, and halfway up the other one before I go back into the woods. I still think I'm gonna have to climb that mountain today at some point. I'm probably getting roasted with sunburn, but I figured not being in the shade was a short stint on the day. Oh look, cattails. That's probably a swamp on that side too. Gosh. So my readout says 91 degrees, which seems about right. And we're coming up on a little gravel path, it looks like. And a little bench. Here we go, back into the woods. That's where I came from. And then That's where I came from. Went all the way across the end and then back up to here. A big rectangular backwards J. All right, break time. I'm taking a break at Wawayanda Shelter, 5.3 miles from where I started, which means, well, from where I got back on trail, which means I'm nominally 1/3 into my day. If I think of it that way, I just have to do the hike I just did 2 more times. Not so bad. It's straight up noon o'clock. So 9 to noon, noon to 3, 3 to 6. Those are my 3 segments of the day. Yeah, so perfectly sunny and hot, and I just heard a thunderclap on what appears to be I guess a clear day or partly cloudy day, and it's 1 p.m. So that was an interesting development. I'll keep an ear on that. I didn't expect to hear a thunderclap in the middle of the day like this, especially when it's, you know, hot and sunny. Usually it's like towards late afternoon when the heat of the day generates a thunderstorm. But anyway, just an update. So this means trail bears left, and that is to the left. It looks like, oh, there's a blaze. Looks like I have to go up that. Yay. So I just checked radar, and there's a tiny little thunder cell, or rain thunderstorm cell, just north of my location, and it seems to be drifting away. So it's close enough for me to hear it, but it does not appear to be headed in my direction, according to one of the weather apps. So that's that. Not that I could do anything about it anyway. I heard a PA system. It's straight up. There you go. It's 2 o'clock. All right, so it's a very large summer camp installation called Camp Luema, and it's just to my east, which was confusing at first because I assumed I was hiking generally northeast, but I'm actually hiking generally southeast, and so the sound's coming from my left. When I first looked at Google Maps, I thought it was coming from the wrong side, but actually I'm hiking down the map, not up the map right now, just the direction the trail happens to be going right now. So they've got some kind of event starting at 2 p.m. and the PA system cut on, like their, I don't know, canoe race or something. Who knows? But yeah, it's a rather large complex of camp facilities and sports courts and lakes and barracks and all that stuff. So take a step sideways, see the profile. Oh, there he goes. Very pretty. It's a completely different frog. I was about to step on that rock when I saw him, because I need to get to that stream right there to fill my bottle. It got pretty. Well, these are delicious. I hope they're not poisonous. Huh. So either bears or some hungry hikers have been through this area here. What we're looking for is this. So this is the Wawayanda, I don't know if that's pronounced right, the Wawayanda Boardwalk area, and this extends rather far into this field of reeds or cattails or whatever they are. Yeah, there's some cattails. It's also a local walking path because there were some local people trying to figure out where to park and were asking me questions that I didn't know the answers to. Well, it's 5 p.m. It's not 91 degrees, probably hotter, but on my thermometer here it's 91 degrees. I've got a 1 hour, 800-foot climb called Stairway to Heaven coming up. Not something you want to do on the last couple of miles of the hottest day of the year, but that's how it falls. There's not really anywhere else for me to go, so just gotta take it easy and pace myself. But yeah, it's like 800, 850, something like that, and supposedly gets really steep towards the end, like a rock scramble, so another one of those. And I took my backpack off back there to refill my water bottles from a bottle of water I've been carrying inside my backpack, and about, I don't know, half a dozen mosquitoes like bit my back through my shirt, it feels like. And so now my whole back is itchy, despite the fact that I have a backpack on. And it's over 90 degrees. And it's after 5 p.m. and I've gone 12 miles today. So got like, well, I've gone 11 miles today. I've got like 5.5 miles to go. So I'm probably gonna get there by 7:30, thereabouts. Hey, at least it's not flat and monotonous. Well, this is what I assume is the lower level of Stairway to Heaven. Glad that it's in shade. Well, it took me just under an hour to get to the summit. That included a long, like a 15-minute break. And the other good part is it's no longer that hot because it's 6:30, so the sun angle is much lower and everything's kind of cooled off. So this will probably still go down as one of my more difficult days, if not the most, just because of the heat and then that massive climb at the end. Yeah, after I took the break, the rest of the climb was not that hard. I took the break just below the spring. There's a spring about 2/3 of the way up. But then from the spring on, it was pretty easy. But 3.5 more miles, I'll probably get there at like 8:15. Finally, we'd arrived at shelter. The tricky part of the evening, it is 7 minutes after 8. The tricky part will be finding water.